Have you ever thought about using trading bots? I used Bitsgap in the last bull market and turned $1,000 into $50,000 within a 5-month period. I documented the whole process and put it in a playlist if you want to see that, along with other training videos and tutorials how to set bots up and make the most of the volatility of the crypto market. If you sign up with a link in the description, you'll get a 7 days free trial with no obligation to continue, and you can also use a demo account within Bitsgap so you don't have to risk your own capital. Bitsgap. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at the market, shall we? So a bit of an overview, I'd say, and I think I'm going to make a video on a specific altcoin later on. Spoiler alert, it's going to be EOS. There's something going on with EOS, I think, at the moment. So I imagine no one's going to tune in to watch that one, to be honest. Charts are charts. I'm not saying EOS is a millionaire starter kit. EOS is just EOS. That's all it is. All right, so let's get a look at Bitcoin 4 hourly. The reason we're sitting at the 4 hourly is I want to see how much momentum we've got brewing on these smaller term timeframes, any kind of signals or anything like that at all. And at the moment, there's a potential signal brewing here for a trend on the 4 hourly. So we've got a cross above the itchy cloud here. So we've got conversion baseline crossed above the cloud, price action above the cloud. Currently we've got the Chiku span sitting in the price action, but over the course of the day, so long as we can break and close outside of areas such as 36,500, again, that's not too much of an ask really, we would likely get this trend signal, and that trend signal will only cancel out if the Chiku span touches back and closes back into a 4 hourly candle body time frame. So looking okay for that to potentially work out. As far as the overall trend is concerned, it's still quite good here on the 4 hourly, all moving averages in the appropriate positions, and we're sailing all the way above them. So with that, let's have a look at the daily. Daily's more or less the same as well, so we can see that actually, you know, it was a buy the dip market, or it currently has been. Captain Hindsight is always a perfect trader, hitting that 21 exponential moving average on the first dip, the 20 moving average on the second and third dip, and then basically since then more or less closing above the 10 exponential. So adding more weight to the idea that we're not just going to get a retest of the 38,000, but we'll probably do break it. Momentum isn't very strong though, nor is the volume. Well, I suppose the volume's okay, but comparative to where it was previously, it's nothing really. So yeah, it does give kind of toppy vibes around these areas. To 38 to I'd probably say the max of around 43, but personally I would not really be looking to target those higher areas. 1 hourly, so the 1 hourly is losing a little bit of steam on this 1 hourly. Potentially we'll see over the next, well, I suppose at some point today, getting picked up around the $37,000 flat. If we lose that area, then we do probably see ourselves go further down. So again, you know, I'm not saying this is destined to go up immediately. The higher term timeframes suggest another revisit of 38,000 and maybe higher. You know, the intermediate, as in like a 1 hourly up to a 4 hourly, can still meander between the price that we're at right now and 36,500, which again, you know, was that magical area for the Chiku span to make that position on the chart where a trend would be formed on the 4 hourly. So that also would be like a nice retest of these golden crosses on the 1 hourly, whether it's exponentials or simples. We've got moving averages all the way down below it. So between now and the end of the day, a pullback into 36,500 would be great, and you'll be looking to get picked up from there and then start the 4 hourly trend, which should take us up to the previous resistance and maybe and probably actually a little higher, ready for the next rejection, which you know, given what we've seen so far, would be a buy the dip market. You know, this is what it's been so far, hasn't it? Really, buy the dip on altcoins, the dip given to us by the big daddy Bitcoin, and allocation into particular altcoins of significant interest, ones with strong trends and higher targets. So it does look quite good. So if I think about Ethereum, what's Ethereum doing? It's more bullish than Bitcoin. So this emphasizes the idea that it is a buy the dip on altcoins. Dare we say it? An alt season, perhaps, maybe? I don't know, should we say it? The 4 hourly's not got the same kind of trend signal that, well, I mean, Bitcoin hasn't actually generated it yet, but it probably will. And it doesn't have the same kind of setup here. What we are actually looking at, if anything, would be a consolidation, and probably breaking out from that soon. So we've got what do you want to call it, a symmetrical triangle if you base it around the moving averages as your floor, or a descending triangle. There's a million different ways you could try and chart this out. Is it a falling wedge? Whichever way you want to do it. The main thing to focus on would be the resistance and the breakout of the resistance, and if we do come down lower, to retest perhaps maybe a support of a falling wedge, or the moving averages on the 4-hourly, making it a different formation altogether, basically a 50-50 formation, similar to something like this. And that would be a symmetrical triangle. Either way, a pullback to those lower zones would be, yet again, a buy the dip environment for Ethereum. And what's good for Ethereum is usually good across the board for the majority of altcoins. Some of these altcoins are really popping at the moment. Nice to see Ocean really breaking out at this stage now on Bitcoin and on Tether pair, with a little bit further to run, I would probably say. But I noticed that a lot of the AI coins are moving because AI is a general focus. Right, what's going on with the Bitcoin dominance chart? We had our move up for a death cross retest on simple moving averages on a 4-hourly, and a rejection from that. Now back down below all the moving averages of significance on the 4-hourly. We are basically avoiding that golden cross that could have happened on the 4-hourly exponentials. So looking good for continuation down. Rejection on a Bollinger Band Center on a 21 exponential moving average, to which none of these candle bodies have closed above. So adds more weight to the fact that we're going to move all the way down into the 50% zone. Again, it's all sort of alt season kind of vibes, really. Buy the dip on altcoins kind of vibes. We'll only really start to get a little bit more concerned for a major bounce probably around here, because that 50 exponential, as much as it did offer us some kind of bounce in the form of a market dip, altcoins are getting picked up, and notably Ethereum, particularly because that's the strongest one. But then all altcoins combined seem to move up now. I say all, not all, but no altcoin is created equal. But for the most part, altcoins are getting bought. So it is that same thing that I was saying last week about. Well, I mean, that video I made, you have to check the channel. I made a whole video about it, saying that this is similar to 2021 vibes, as in the formation and the behavior. Perhaps not the gains, but definitely the behavior is similar to that, where Bitcoin had reached a particularly large peak and then consolidated and actually went down over time, while altcoins went up massively over time. So I still think that is quite a reasonably likely scenario. That's what we're looking at right now. But again, we're not looking for hundreds of X's or anything like that. We're just looking for continuation of this particular behavior. So buy the dip on altcoins, and wait for the next dip to be given to us by Bitcoin, probably hitting areas of resistance. So Bitcoin dominance looking like it wants to come down. Total market cap too. Then what are you up to? Okay, so you're making another run, an attempt to break this resistance. That's what I think is trying to happen over here now. Then, so we worked this one out. If we break this, which would be, I suppose, in hindsight, again, Captain Hindsight kicks in, a large accumulation zone of around 50%. We break here, we will most likely make a very big run all the way up to around 922 billion market cap. So that's a huge move, right? Do you know what this reminds me of? I just want to show you this. So look, we hit this particular low down here around June 2022. Up to the top, down to the bottom, up to the top, down, up to the top. You know what it reminds me of? You've probably guessed it. If you watch my channel, if you remember the potion, you probably know what I'm about to show you. That's right. I think it looks just like a chain link chart. Let's zoom out, shall we? So we had this very, very large accumulation. Get out of this 4-hourly. Jesus, man. I've only got 64 gigs of RAM for some reason. I'm lagging over here. Right, so what did we say? So we see our big move down all the way down to this level, May 2022, up to the bottom, down, up, accumulation. This accumulation is actually quite a large range, about 80%, 75%, give or take. We were in here for a very long period of time, accumulating, right? So accumulating. So you buy into an accumulation range, with the view that we will break out later on down the line. When you accumulate moving averages and all kinds of setups and signals on the higher term time frames, they basically all start to combine and blend together, and it gives you very little edge. But what you do have is a range that you take advantage of while you're down in those areas. And then finally, when you do break out, so the accumulation range, what was it, about 75%, and then the breakout kicks in, and you basically get a 75. You basically see the move. A powerful move, because the sell walls at this exactly I can't get my words out, at this exact level are significant, which is why we've stayed within this range for such a long period of time. You break it and then suddenly you go into a new type of behavior, bullish one, where it's actually a lot easier for it to sail up into the next major zones, which is where we're struggling at the moment. We might as well draw a little line in here just for fun. Zoop, and we've got rejection. Oh, sorry, support, breakdown, and then big breakdown. So that's the kind of vibe we're looking at here on the total market cap too. Now, does it break out from here? I don't know. My rule is I'll always expect a rejection at resistance. Anything other than that is a bonus. If you're a hodler, or if you have taken the time to accumulate dollar cost average or whatever it is for brighter days, then you look at this line, and hold your breath and hope that it does break. But from a trader's perspective, you expect it to reject. But to be fair, I am both trader and hodler, so it's kind of a win-win. I would look at this as an overview for a potential 2.0 alt season. We've already had the first alt season, or the first half of it. This would be alt season 2.0, where things really go particularly mad, and again, expect a rejection at a resistance. That's just the name of the game. That's just how you'd normally play it. But it would be a significant one if we break from here. We would see a huge move, similar to what we've looked at on Chainlink's chart. Just as an example, just want to show Chainlink's chart to show you what a giant accumulation looks like and what a breakout from a giant accumulation looks like. And so just to put it into perspective, don't bother trying to draw fractals or anything like that. It's not about that. It's just trying to put the point across here that we're hitting a major resistance. We are in a major accumulation on altcoins, and if you break this level, you do go significantly higher. Very high. Close to doubling the market cap on altcoins. So you can only imagine what that would do for altcoins collectively. Right, that's pretty much all there is. I am going to make a video on EOS. I might even make it now, because I've got stuff to do throughout the day. But and again, there's nothing more to say on it later. I would imagine that I can't say about it now. But rather than making that an extension of this video, I'm going to do a separate one. But I am interested in looking at as many other altcoins as possible. If they've got good setups worth talking about, I will make a video on it. So leave comments in the description below if there's anything that you want me to look at. Alternatively, you can join the Patreon and we can look at it together on a live stream twice a week. That's just that's what we do over here. Other than that, I hope you have a nice day and take it easy.